Hey all, Hibber here. So today I've got a video for you where I get what is probably the most difficult medal to get in the game. I think I have a dozen or something like that. Yeah, it's difficult, and I'm only counting the standard battle solo warriors, because the ones you get in arena, they are just, well, not solo warriors, if you ask me. So anyway, we are in what is my favorite tier 7 cruiser at the moment, and it is the British light cruiser Edinburgh. Now, you wouldn't think it was actually a light cruiser because this thing is really tanky, but of course the whole light thing is actually determined by the guns, and of course it does have a relatively low caliber. So I have an agile build with Tenant, Azure Lane Baltimore and Takao, and then I have Ingenious, full speed ahead, Velocious, steer clear, and fully packed. This is my go-to agile build on the ship, and here I have the improved battery traverse, and then I have rudder, and then I have rudder again, and then I have the improved reload here. So loadout, 3 heals, excellent, 3 sonars, even better, 3 radars, fantastic. That's what you need. 7-second reload, and pretty good. 1.9 second rudder, which is crazy. It's just amazing. I love this ship now. And look at this armor here, 30mm all the way around. It is one tough cruiser, and you'll need that because you'll be facing lots of legendary battleships these days, and well, legendary cruisers as well. So yeah, the days where I played Otago a lot, well, they're over, because well, Otago is having a hard time at the moment. There's just so many other good cruisers available. So as you see, I am heading straight into B as soon as we start. So in a second or two, this Kurfürst is going to try to get me with a salvo, and this is one of the reasons I really like Edinburgh, because only Yamato and Georgia can overmatch the armor, meaning that you can really use this ship to push in like I'm doing now and get into a really advantageous position that will benefit you in the long run, like what I'm kind of planning in this game here. That's also why I strictly run radar only on this ship here, because I play it extremely aggressively, and I think that's the best way to play it. If you're in a position like this, it's just like a Hipper, except you have a radar as well to really ward off any like nasty destroyers or people trying to sneak up on you. And of course, Edinburgh has torpedo armament as well. Not a lot. It does have 3 torpedoes on each side, and it's not enough to take out a battleship, even with both sides. But it is enough to be a deterrent, so people don't rush you. And of course, you have that 30mm bow. So if someone is trying to challenge you, you can just fire torps and then just well, sit there with your bow facing them, unless it's a Yamato or a Georgia, of course. And then, yeah, it works out really well. So like I said in the beginning, you're going to face a lot of legendary ships when you play tier 7 cruisers, and that's just the way it is. And that's also why Edinburgh is my preferred ship at the moment, if we talk tier 7. Simply because it doesn't really matter that much if you're facing legendaries. Because, like I said, yes, Yamato can overmatch you, but it can overmatch anybody really. So that's not really something you should look at in a bad way. And here I'm trying to exit the cap now, because that is always the difficult thing. Once you get in there and you get the cap, of course everyone knows where you are, even if you aren't spotted, so they're just waiting for you to make that run out. And that's of course where an agile build comes in, because I'd go, well, 38 knots maximum in this thing here, and I can get in and out of dodge pretty quickly. And of course in this instance here, that's very helpful, because I get in there, I cap, I pop my radar to keep anyone out of the cap, and then I just hang around it here afterwards, because I'm kind of hoping one of the destroyers might actually try to get in there, and then I can take that guy out, because my next radar is almost ready. So I'm just gonna sit here for a while, and I know this like solo warrior battle here is not the most exciting battle, but there is a reason that I play it the way I play, and I don't want to get into the details here, but let's just say that I have experience with teams. Anyway, so we are just hanging out here. There's not really anyone I can shoot at. Everyone's sitting behind cover. And actually right now we're doing really well. See, I've taken B, the other guys have taken A, and we're working on C. And I'm thinking perhaps I should move over to C and see if I can be of assistance over there. But then I noticed the Ochakovs here and they seem to be moving in towards B, and I think it's more important to defend B than it is to capture the third cap, because we are ahead now and the tickets are rolling in nicely. So there's no need to jeopardize that by, you know, making a rash move. So this here is where the problems start, because this Iowa here is starting to flank, and it's very, very obvious. He goes full speed and he has his nose pointed towards C, and he's going to try to flank us all. And obviously a ship like this is a priority target, because if he comes around the corner, he'll be able to spot and hit and be a real nuisance. And when you're playing random battles like this one is, once that happens, that's usually the point where the team crumbles, unless you're playing in a division, because so many players don't understand the importance of crossfires. And of course this Lion and the Iowa, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to get all the way out on the right, so they can actually push in from that side, because the middle of the map is locked down pretty much. I'm guarding B, there will be no heading in that way. And although I don't have an impressive torpedo arsenal, like I said, it's still enough to ward people off from rushing me. And it's just so nice to play Edinburgh, it really is. It is by far my favorite cruiser right now. And the funny thing is, I used to absolutely hate this ship here. And I did that all the way up until Azure Lane Takao was released. And then the ship just clicked with me. Because then I could put a full agile build on Edinburgh. And like you saw before, get the rudder down to an amazing 1.9 seconds. And as you know, Edinburgh has the British acceleration as well, meaning that this is an exceptional agile cruiser. It turns fantastically well, and it also accelerates really, really well. And of course the turning radius is very, very small as well. So it is a joy to play with an agile build, and it works so well. The same can be said for Minotaur, not to the same degree though, but it's still a fun ship to play with an agile build. So we get a citadel on the Ochakov there from, like, I don't know, pretty much the moon away, and that takes him out of the battle. And his friend gets cold feet and turns around. So now we are 4 versus 5, and we have 2 destroyers left. So this is looking good, and we have 3 caps. So really, this should be not an easy win, but a pretty comfortable win. So the Iowa and the Lion, they are still trying to flank, and they've caught this Cleveland here in the middle. I don't know why he let himself get into that position there, but he's going to be punished for that. And I could sit behind this island here and, you know, pepper them with AP, but it's just not going to work out well, I think. So I'm going to go into open water with my agile build here, and then I'll try to get these battleships to shoot at me instead of actually turning towards B and starting to cap. And I'm also trying to reset this Lion here, of course, and the Iowa when I can, but he's just outside my range, so a little bit more difficult with him. And of course I don't have HE here, so I'll have to well, go with my trusty AP. I cannot set fires to these guys, and these guys seems like pretty good players, so there's no way they're going to fall for torpedoes. So I'm going to rely on my agile build and pretty much kiting these guys here as much as I can. And we are still 4 versus 4, so at this point I think, oh, I'll just kite these guys out to the end of the map, and then they're gonna waste pretty much the whole last 5 minutes on doing that, and then they'll forget about the other caps and we'll win. So that's the plan. But as you know, plans in this game here, they tend to change. So sit back and enjoy this performance here in agile cruisering, because situations like this is one of the things that agile cruisers obviously do really well, which is kiting away from two of the most deadly battleships in the game. And like I said before, these players here, they are no noobs. You can see the Lion is he's single firing his turrets, hoping to catch me in a bad position. He's not going all guns at once, which is the hallmark of a good player when they're facing an agile cruiser. So obviously this guy knows what he's doing, and that's also why I'm not hitting in, because in any other situation I would probably go in and see if I couldn't get a torp fired at him. But I'm a little bit cautious here because, yeah, pretty sure this guy is good. And he does still have an Iowa as backup. So that's a little bit too much for just one Edinburgh here. So we're going to have to just keep sitting out here and just trying to keep these guys from actually getting to B. So I'm just waiting for the Lion to show a little bit of broadside here so I can get this AP to actually hit him and hurt. Because as long as he is like bow on, there's no point. It's all just gonna shatter or ricochet. So this way I actually get some nice hits in here, and of course I also switch my position a little bit, so it's a bit surprising. Because if I had kept firing and he was bow on, all I would have done was just reveal my position or keep revealing my position, and I wouldn't get any damage out of it. So this way is better, because now I'm forcing him to turn again, because I don't want him to go towards the B cap. And I just had a quick look at the enemy destroyer just around B cap, and of course our destroyer is there, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to finish that guy off. He does have battleship backup. The battleship is in range, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. So see, I've been battling two battleships here now for a few minutes, and I don't think they've hit me once. I can't remember what hit point I started on, but it was something along the same lines as I have now. And that's why it's a bit perplexing that every battleship round in the game fired in the last few minutes have been fired at me. So I don't understand how this Yamato here suddenly just crumbles with a single salvo from the Lion. But like I said, plans change all the time in this game here. So it's looking a little bit dicey now, because we're down to 2 versus 4. We still have a very nice lead on points. I'm not going to say because I took B, but partly because I took B. We've been able to round up the tickets very nicely. So this is a Gearing versus a Kleber, and they have the same amount of hit points. And somehow the Gearing wins. The rental Gearing wins over the standard Kleber or Kleber or whatever it's called. And that's another puzzling move, and that makes it me versus 4 other ships. I have a very nice lead in points, and obviously at this moment here I'm thinking, hey, this could be a solo warrior, so I'm just going to give up on that destroyer there. I would like to head in and radar him and make him feel sorry about what he's doing, but I fought too hard in this battle here for it to end like that. So I'm just going to sail to the corner of the map like a good potato, and then I'm just gonna sit out there and wait for time to run out. And the Gearing is just shooting those amazing, 13 or 16 kilometer torpedoes at me, like a last ditch effort at turning the tide. But obviously even though he takes B, which he just did, we still have plenty of points to be able to win this battle here. And that's the reason why I am running, because, well, that's the way I will win this battle here. I cannot take on the 4 remaining ships, so I'll have to stick to my original plan, which was to win this one on points. So, an agile radar equipped Edinburgh, is it good? Yes, it is fantastic. And the current meta, like I said, with lots of legendaries and lots of destroyers, and the game being the way it is, Edinburgh is, in my opinion, your best pick as a tier 7 cruiser at the moment. And it's all down to having that extra commander Takao, along with a sure lane Baltimore, of course, and a fully upgraded Tenant. It gives you all the tools to play Edinburgh as an amazing agile cruiser, and trust me, not many people play this cruiser with radar, and not many people play this cruiser as an agile cruiser. And when you add those two together, you can pull off some amazing stunts, simply because people expect you to be a smoke Edinburgh, that as soon as you're spotted, you'll just point your bow towards the enemy and smoke up. But obviously that is not what an agile Edinburgh does. An agile Edinburgh just drills its way immediately into the enemy lines, and into the caps, obviously, and then pretty much defend from there. So we just detected the people here, and they're shooting at me. They're hoping to get me with a random salvo, and I do get spotted here just a few seconds before the battle ends, but it's way too late, and they wouldn't be able to get me anyway. So that was an agile radar Edinburgh, the best tier 7 cruiser in the game, if you ask me, at the moment. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you out there.